Okay, folks, we gotta talk about Shopify. It went parabolic, bringing the whole Canadian economy up with it. It is the proof of a brand new bull market, pulling this sucker out of the bubble bursting reality that it went through in 2022 to now finally proving, hey, AI is the real deal. Hey, we're growing on the back of this crap and you need to be paying attention. So if you are on a path to financial independence, if you damn well want to retire early one day and you believe in the Canadian economy, the stories that we can prosper out of this insanity, subscribe, join me. I know I'm being hyperbolic, but this is truly bonkers. I mean, in the last 5 days, Shopify is up 36%. Almost all of that happening within the last day. Look at the year to date. Where were you, Shopify? We've all been sitting here crying over the fact that you invested into e-commerce, trying to compete with the warehousing and shipping on the likes of Amazon, till you said, nah, not a good idea, and you shifted to AI. My God. We got to have a real conversation about this because the AI stuff, man, is really taking them to new leaps and bounds. I mean, this thing dropped over 80%. We thought it was the end of Shopify, but today it looks like we're finally getting back up into the stratospheric level to raise the economy. I mean, the S&P TSX, if you look at the Canadian largest companies, the index that represents that, we'll use VCE as an example, is up 0.57% today. Look at the heat map today. There ain't one damn green stock. Shopify is fighting against the whole market. Some of these stocks are down a few percentage points today in basic materials, but here Shopify is climbing it all up, dragging these suckers out of the gutter and bringing the economy up to a more reasonable level on the back of a pretty red day. I mean, this is kind of unreal. You take a look at the earnings, and we are back to higher 20 percentile growth ranges, 26% year-over-year revenue for this quarter alone. Muy bien. Chef's kiss, right? And they're expecting Q4 in guidance to be in the higher 20 percentile range. I told you guys when it comes to valuations, what I find really intriguing is a lot of these software companies are growing at the same scale as Palantir, but they're much bigger. They're generating way more revenues. They have way more capabilities, which just goes to beg the value metrics that are already insane in software and where they're going into the future, because maybe they were undervalued. Maybe we're heading into another speculative bubble. I am not 100% certain, but what I do know for sure is these numbers do not lie. And this is truly the sign of a new growth period for the market. This is the sign of the soft landing, baby, that maybe we do not need a recession or a cataclysmic black swan event. If we can just keep riding this, ooh, baby, this is why we invest. This is why the rich get richer and the poor remain poor. You gotta be getting into the market here, folks. I mean, look at the revenues. This company could easily be banking way more capital. When you look at software like Palantir, Constellation, you got to kind of wrap your head around the reality that they're growing. They're constantly putting money back into research and development and sales and marketing. So they're not actualizing the 50% margins they have. Their gross profit at 1.1 billion versus the 2.1 billion in revenue. I mean, the huge gross profit. So they're not actualizing nearly any of it. But I can take it. I can take it because they're investing it where it matters. And we're going to talk about that in a moment. I mean, this company has acquired Mr. Beast, the largest YouTubing brands that exist out there. And now they're going after undies, baby. We got MeUndies. Oh, we got Victoria's Secret. How do we go wrong? I mean, Shopify just woke up in Q3 and they're like, underwear companies, we have none. This is the quarter outlook. You got like, look at how awesome some of these are. You got Spandex in here already, Oatly, you got Nestle, like literally the biggest brands in the world, and they don't leave easy. These are sticky companies. I really am shocked by how well Shopify's been able to do on the back of what has been a very slow period of growth for them, which 20% growth is not a slow period. The fact they've survived through this is incredible. It just goes to show you the shift to e-commerce and the fact that we haven't made this full transition yet. I've talked about this multiple times. We're going to talk about it a bit more, but what I want to get into is this video to exemplify how they're using chatbots to basically expand their business, right? Just take a listen.
Every entrepreneur has tons of questions. Sidekick will have answers that are specific to your business.
So I guess it's called Sidekick, right?
It is built for the purpose of helping you with entrepreneurial journey.
I'm hoping I'm not going to get copyright strike for this.
What Sidekick is that it
but look
can
at this.
take things off your to-do list, and if you so choose, do them for you.
It just does it for you. Like,
It will not question your vision, but if there's a big change you want to make, it'll definitely be able to help you.
I have operated Shopify stores, and I just remember how abysmal it was trying to figure something out, not being able to figure it out, having to call somebody, sit through the phone call. I vividly remember this, and now the level of AI integrated into Shopify is probably one of the most brilliant things that could have happened to this company, because now that I can just tell the bot what I want done, graphics, like this is what we were waiting for, because I always felt like websites weren't that much like they didn't have a real moat behind them. But Shopify, I think their moat is the fact that they build brand loyalty, and they've got the biggest brands in the biggest industries under their belt. I mean, they're not going to go anywhere anymore, right? And I really believe that we have a long runway ahead of us. I think somewhere within this presentation that I pulled up, where is the presentation? This is just a screen cap, but somewhere in the presentation they were talking about their total commerce market share, and that there's still a lot of room for them to grow. And I keep thinking about Amazon, right? This is probably one of the most resilient sectors that is transitioning every single day still from, even McDonald's, all these traditional brick and mortar, they want to upgrade into being more shipping, more, app oriented, to just cut down times and get things to you quicker and better, right? Uber Eats, like the more convenient and the less localization into brick and mortar we need, the more successful and the higher margins, right? So Amazon, when I look at the revenues and you just look at this growth here, 12%, I know it's a lot smaller than where it was in the past, but when it's a 600 billion generative revenue business at a 10% clip, it just goes to show you that we still haven't reached near capacity. We haven't saturated the entire conversion of e-commerce yet. So I love these companies. I do not hold Shopify personally. I just think it's starting to become a fascinating story in Canada again, and I want to just highlight some Canadian stocks. And I live in Canada. I want people to feel great about living in this country on the back of all this stupid crap and political nonsense. And yes, things aren't perfect, but we're still an incredible place that has a lot of opportunity ahead of it. And I'll pass that question off to you. I'd love to know what you think in that comment section below.